sure to tune in to At Home with Christ Ministry with Julie Thomas, broadcasting Monday nights at 8 p.m. live on licmc.net, radio, Facebook, and YouTube.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the At Home with Christ podcast. So for a while, we've been talking about the enemy, and we're still talking about the enemy because in this side of the podcast, you are fighting with the enemy, but you don't see it. And we have to understand and learn our discernment about the enemy. Now, one of the words that we need to pay attention to is a word that is spelled P-A-L-E, PEL, which means a fight waged in close battle. But you may think that this means you're fighting in a close battle with someone in real life. It could be, but it could also mean that you're fighting in a close battle in darkness. The point is, we are in battle with dark spirits, but cannot see them. We cannot see the spirits that we're in battle with. So when we think of sometimes that in our lives that our enemies are our real friends because they're doing things to us, it may not be that your person you think is your enemy, because your enemy is Satan. Your real enemy is causing strife in your life. If you remember, we spoke about strife. It causes confusion, it causes anger, and it causes a lot of other stuff. Now, Satan wants us to ignore him so he can take control. But then we have to pay attention and we have to be aware of what Satan is trying to do or what he has done. If you think he's not real, then you are wrong. Ephesians 6:10 tells us that we must put on our full shield of armor to be on guard against Satan and his dark principles. But if you read the story of Elijah in 2 Kings 6:15, the story talks about Elijah and the battle. Then you will have an understanding of what it means to be in battle with Satan. Now, some of Satan's tactics is that he wants us to overestimate him and his impact on us. These tactics could be used against us or anyone we know in any form of way. Like, for instance, like using lies to make you think that your friends are your enemies. Your friends are not your enemies, people. Your friends are not your enemy. But then if you can't see and you can't tell what you don't have an idea of what your enemy is, then you might think that person is your enemy. That person isn't your enemy. Now, in 2 Kings 6:13 through 23, Elijah said to his servants, he said this to his servants, is spoken to all the faithful servants of God. When without fighting and within fears, fear not. For that fear which has torment and amazement, for they are with us to protect us. So we're guessing that he's talking about angels. Don't fear the angels. And he was also saying more than they that are against us to destroy us. And in this context, he's speaking of Satan and the dark angels. The eyes of his body were open, and with them he saw the danger. This is also referring to Elijah. He saw the danger. The eyes of his body are open. He was on guard against Satan. But the clear sight, it says, we have over the sovereignty and power of heaven, the less we should fear the troubles of earth. For Satan, the God of this world, blinds men's eyes and so deludes them into their own ruins. What do you think that means? That's right there is letting you know that Satan, the God of this world, the world that you are living in now. It's blinding our eyes and using it to ruin your life, your friend's life, and everybody else's life around you. So you have to ask yourself the question, are you going to be on guard for Satan? Are you going to be how are you going to watch out for him? Because it says the clearer sight we have over the sovereignty and power of the heaven, the less we shall fear the troubles of the earth. So the clearer sights that we have over the heavens, the lesser we'll fear the troubles of this world. And so let me repeat that. The clearer sight that we have over the sovereignty and the power of heaven, the less we shall fear the troubles of the earth. For Satan, the God of this world, as it was saying, blinds men's eyes and subdues them onto their own ruin. This is how Satan ruins us. This is how Satan ruins you. So my question I'm asking you today is, and this side of the chapter, and this side of the podcast, is what's causing all the trouble? Who's stirring up strife? And if you know who's stirring up strife and you know what to watch for, then you, my brothers and sisters, can learn how to take on the battle of Satan. Because we have to remember that but when God enlightens our eyes, we see things in the mindset of the enemies. So when God enlightens our eyes, my brothers and sisters, we can see the mindset of the enemy. So we should pray all the time, and we should ask God to enlighten
Be sure
our eyes,
to tune in
so we can see
to At Home with Christ
the mindset
Ministry
of the enemy.
with Julie Thomas, broadcasting Monday nights at 8 p.m.
We could
live on
like Elijah, and we can be able to fight
radio,
better.
Facebook, and
So until next
YouTube.
time, we'll talk more about Satan on the other side of the podcast. Thank you. Hello, I am Julie Thomas, and the name of my podcast is it's a Well Water Christian podcast for my social media podcast show, which is At Home with Christ. And now I want to tell you about my latest TV show, which is going to be At Home with Christ TV. And you can reach that, and you can see all the episodes on Shrimp TV. On shrimp.com. So that you can go to this new platform, which is shrimp.com, and look for At Home with Christ TV under London. It is a fantastic show, and we hope